Take it off the backpack. Please don't. Don't.
The Doom Patrol squad is pretty dope, but the actors who play their characters in the hit series are pretty badass too. By the end of this video, you'll realize why the Doom Patrol casting director went with this particular bunch of misfits instead of casting superstars like Alexandra Daddario, who, by the way, auditioned for a role in the show but was rejected. Let's kick things off with April Bowlby, the knockout who plays Elastigirl. If you're wondering where you've seen Elasti-Woman before, you might remember her for playing Stacy in the comedic series Drop Dead Diva. She also had minor roles in 2.5 Men, where she played Alan's second ex-wife Candy, and in How I Met Your Mother, where she appeared as Barney Stinson's ex-girlfriend, Crazy Meg. But her role as Elasti-Woman is her biggest one yet, April being the first actress to play the DC Comics character in a live-action adaptation. Still, being an actress is not what April thought she would be doing at this age. As a young girl, she had always dreamed of becoming a ballerina. In fact, she studied ballet as well as French and marine biology at Moore Park College before she started pursuing a career in acting. It's a grand dream, but hey, it's always something she can pursue somewhere down the line if she wants it. Another career path she could pursue if acting doesn't pan out is modeling, something she has already done in the past. Next, we have Diane Guerrero, the actress who plays Crazy Jane. At this point, Diane Guerrero has racked up quite the reputation for perfectly playing characters that aren't necessarily nice or kind, but oh so lovable. She was like this as the sassy Maritza in Orange is the New Black, and Lena in Jane the Virgin. But the most interesting fact about Diane was the tough life she had growing up, having been born to parents who were in the US illegally. Diane detailed all the harrowing details she experienced in her memoir, In the Country We Love. Apparently, Diane's parents and older brother immigrated illegally to the US from their native Colombia. Diane was only 14 years old when she came home from school to an empty house. She noticed the lights were on and dinner making was started, but her parents and brother were nowhere to be found. Her neighbors had to break it to her that the authorities had taken her family for deportation. Diane was born in the US, so no one ever came to take her away, but at the same time, no one from the government ever came to check on her, much less make living arrangements for her, even though she was a minor living alone at that time. Diane had to stay with friends and in extended families' homes, campus dorms, and other temporary residences to survive. And even though her parents asked her to come live with them in Colombia several times across the years, she chose to stay in the US, thereby creating a strained relationship with her parents, who always thought she should have been more involved in their family life. Because of this experience, Guerrero remains a huge immigration reform advocate to this day. Next up, Brendan Fraser, aka the voice of Robot Man. Fraser is by no means a newbie actor, but we reckon there are still some things you don't know about him. For one, did you know that Sir Ian McKellen is considered Fraser's biggest fan? You personally might not think of Brendan Fraser as a serious actor, especially with his reel including Airheads and George of the Jungle. But one very serious actor isn't afraid to show high praise for our Robot Man. Sir Ian McKellen even went so far as to say that he wishes he could one day be as good of an actor as Brendan Fraser. Apparently, the veteran actor was blown away when the duo appeared together in the 1998 drama Gods and Monsters. Another interesting fact about Fraser is that he was almost in Journey to the Mysterious Island. After a string of box office flops that included Blast from the Past, Dudley Do-Right, and Monkey Bone, Fraser had the chance to stage a film comeback with the potential new franchise Journey to the Center of the Earth. But the original director of the film, Eric Breivik, could not return for the sequel. And out of loyalty to Breivik, Fraser refused to sign on to the Mysterious Island. But as we all know, the studio didn't mind moving on without Fraser. They went with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Fraser's replacement, and the family-friendly sequel ended up being a hit. Next, we have Matt Bomer, who plays Negative Man. Did you know that Bomer is known around the world not just for his acting chops, but for being a huge advocate for LGBT rights? Not only does Matt inspire awe by having 3 beautiful children with husband Simon Halls, he actively supports initiatives that support LGBT families too. In fact, Bomer has won awards for his involvement in advancing gay rights. One of the first charities Matt worked with in LA was the Gay, Lesbian, and Straight Education Network. Bomer Bomer says it's one of his favorite organizations because they welcome breaks to children with serious medical conditions. How great is that? Another inspiring fact about Bomer is how he didn't have a problem working odd jobs when he was still struggling as an actor. As many aspiring celebrities do, Bomer moved to New York after graduation to try his hand out at acting. But while he did do a few small roles on Broadway, it wasn't enough to pay his bills in one of the most expensive cities in the world. So, to make ends meet, he waited tables and even worked as a bellman at Ian Schrager's Hudson Hotel. Such humble beginnings only served to sweeten Bomer's eventual success. Now, let's talk about Joivan Wade. For many fans of Doom Patrol, the actor who plays Cyclops seemed eerily familiar, though he doesn't seem to have appeared in any major films or TV series before Doom Patrol. Well, the familiarity is due in no small part to Joivan's YouTube career. Wade initially gained recognition as a YouTuber for his comedy series, Mendem on the Wall. Joivan Wade then gained more popularity when he was cast as Manu in the BBC comedy series Big School in 2013. Aside from these, he also played fan favorite Riggsy across 2 series of Doctor Who, so that's where you know him from. Next, we have Timothy Dalton, also known as Chief. Doom Patrol marked Dalton's 3rd appearance in a comic book adaptation after Flash Gordon and The Rocketeer. But of course, Dalton is best known for his work as James Bond. In fact, his cold, gritty portrayal of the world-famous spy is considered by many fans of the franchise to be the closest to the characterization of Bond from the original novels by Ian Fleming. But his performance was greeted with mixed reactions from the general public after they got used to 12 years of Roger Moore's much more light-hearted take on the character. It can also be recalled that Dalton's Bond was the last one to smoke cigarettes. But here's something you might not have known about Dalton. Did you know he was considered for the role of the Doctor and Master in the 1996 Doctor Who? Even though the role didn't come to him, Dalton would eventually appear in a Doctor Who project. Almost 10 years later, he guest starred as Rassilon in David Tennant's final episode for the series Doctor Who. Before all these, though, he was also considered for the guest role of Lytton in the original series Doctor Who Resurrection of the Daleks, Part 1. The 1984 role was ultimately given to Maurice Colburn. Timothy Dalton decided he wanted to become an actor at age 16 after seeing a production of Macbeth. Needless to say, he has come a long way since then. Next up, we have Alan Tudyk, or Mr. Nobody. The most interesting fact about Tudyk is that he is considered as something of a lucky charm for Disney. Similar to John Ratzenberger for Pixar, he has had a role in every Disney animated film since Wreck-It Ralph. Before that, he was cast as Lago in Jackie Chan Adventures, The Demon Beneath My Wings. All of his projects, regardless of how big or how small his actual contribution is, achieved critical and commercial success. To date, Alan's most prized possession is his 1964 Mustang, which he named Old Sock. Next, we have Riley Shanahan, who plays Robot Man. Born and raised in Sacramento, Riley first practiced his acting on California stages. He then pursued a college degree in theater in the Pacific Northwest, starting at the University of Oregon and finishing at the Cornish College of the Arts in Seattle. He made his way to LA and launched a successful career by acting with Alicia Vikander in a music video for The National, which was written and directed by Mike Mills. Next up, Abigail Shapiro, aka Dorothy Spinner. Doom Patrol might be the first time you meet Dorothy Spinner, but if you've watched the film Hereditary, then you're already familiar with her sister. Dorothy's sister, Millie, starred in that horror film. At 20 years old, Abigail has got years of an exciting career ahead of her, especially since she has a myriad of talents to offer. Aside from acting, Abigail is also a trained opera singer. She graduated from the Manhattan School of Music, just like Herbie Hancock. And last but not least, we have Phil Morris, who stars in Doom Patrol as Silas Stone. Before taking on a recurring guest role for Doom Patrol, Morris also guest starred in another DC comic series called Smallville, where he played the Martian Manhunter. But Morris is probably best known for portraying the role of Kramer's lawyer, Jackie Giles, on the popular sitcom Seinfeld. And in case you missed it, he also had an appearance in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where he played a small role as one of Will Smith's college professors. Cool, right? And those are the best, most interesting facts about the cast members of Doom Patrol.